guys, what's up? AnimeSelect here, and god damn it, fuck, the last couple of days, no matter what you did or what you voted or like who you voted for, who you didn't vote for, whatever, you have to admit the last couple of days have been pretty goddamn crazy. So I wanted to see this movie during opening weekend, but I couldn't. And I got the chance to tonight. So this is going to be a heavy spoiler filled talk and review of Doctor Strange. If you just want to hear the score or my final thoughts of it, I will place a timestamp here because I don't really know when that'll be. I'll watch this through again and mark it down, but there will be a timestamp. So this is your final warning. Spoilers aplenty. I mean, major spoilers, including, as we all know, the famous in Marvel credit scene. I'm gonna be talking about all of that in this. So this is your final warning. Hit the timestamp. Okay, so this movie wasn't their best, but it sure as hell was different. The tone of this movie was more of like a drama in my case, not like a political thriller like the Captain America movies have been kind of going on, not like the kind of campy sci-fi stuff that I've been getting from Thor. Not the bombastic kind of real, what I call like the true kind of what you think of with comic book movies that Iron Man had been going down, but kind of got really weird and kind of darkish, which I didn't really like. I don't really like the way they're going with Iron Man in that direction, but like this would be, yeah, I would consider this to be more of a drama, especially with the way that it plays out in the beginning, and it's a lot darker in its theme. Its whole theme about death and kind of time that you spend on earth and giving up yourself or becoming part of something greater than yourself to protect the greater good, and kind of all those themes, and even themes of death. Like, oh my goodness, I think I've seen more like openly dead or killed bodies in a Marvel movie since in a good long time, actually. Like the actual dead bodies laying around, like holy shit. And like it was interesting, this tone. Now, I guess before I continue anymore, I'm gonna start off with addressing the controversy. So back when this movie was being proposed and the cast list was coming out, it was noted that Tilda Swinton was going to be playing the pretty much the head person who runs this monastery that Stephen Strange goes to. I'm blanking on the name right now. I'm tired. It's midnight. So when I heard this, I was like, that's odd. And it's odd because the main person, the great one, that's it, the great one, in the comics is Tibetan. And then it hit me, Tibet. Marvel movies do really well here and in China. And if you know your world history a bit, then you'll know that Tibet and China don't really have the best relationship, to put it lightly. And I was like, so they pretty much switched the race of a character, not out of malice, but out of greed. And while I don't while like it doesn't surprise me, it's still really just yucky. Like, it's just ugh. So I can get why people are mad, but it's not really out of, well, you can, if you deem this malicious, but this is really out of a point of greed. Especially when I watched the movie and I saw that they did some shooting of it in Hong Kong. Like, it was like with that Transformers movie, the fifth one, and they did all these scenes in Hong Kong, and they had all like these Chinese product placement and stuff. Because, I mean, as much as a lot of people like to rag on China, they do bring us in a lot of bank in the movies, especially with the superhero ones. Like, the only reason why that Warcraft movie didn't tank completely financially was because China fucking loved that movie. For some reason, I don't know, because I saw it and I was just kind of bored out my mind, but they fucking loved it, and they probably helped make half the money back on that movie alone. So with the way that Marvel movies work in China, and that they are pretty much all of them are very popular, and just they bring in bank from there. You know, it wouldn't surprise me if now they start to try to cater more to the Chinese audience, because that is the audience that they have. And yeah, having a Tibetan person, or you know, in their movie would completely alienate a lot, you know, their audience, or at least you know, alienate some of the audience, you know, if you do know the history between the two. So yeah, but I think they try to make up for it by having this monastery kind of be of people of all different kind of races. You know, we have Chiwetel Ejiofor in the movie as one of the members of this monastery. You know, we have like you know, it's just a very mixed monastery, and I think that that's where they tried to bring it in, like, oh yeah, she's white, but look, we have like all these different people in there. And so like they tried to make it work, you know. They tried with it, and I'll, you know, it, I don't really know what to say about it. I mean, I'm glad that we did have more diverse characters, but you know, knowing the story behind why they did what they did is still just very meh. um let's see. So the character of Stephen Strange, played by Benedict Cumberbatch, which that is another issue too, but I'm not going to speak on it because I personally have never read. I think the only one I read, I think, was I think I read one story where they mentioned the Great One, and they kind of mentioned that they were Tibetan, and that's how, like, and I also looked it up to make sure, because that was a long time ago, like one of my cousin's comics. Um, so like I don't know too much about Doctor Strange himself. I don't know his nationality. I don't really know anything like that, so I can't really speak upon the whole whitewashing claim. The only thing I can say is that it could be a bit iffy, if only because a lot of artists draw him as being possibly, you know, with very tan skin, possibly alluding to another nationality. Like I said, I'm not sure. Um, like so that's why I'm like, I can't speak on that. Like the Great One thing I can, but the Stephen Strange one I really can't. So do with that information, you know, from what you've read or whatever, what you will, and view that however you want to. But anyway, Benedict Cumberbatch plays Stephen Strange, and in the movie, he's an asshole. You know, like he's a dick. He's a very arrogant person. It's like he's an asshole in the sense that he's very arrogant. He has an inflated ego because he's so great at what he does. He's a brilliant neurosurgeon. Like that whole opening scene with the bullet in the head just had me on the edge of my seat. It was just so tense. Even though you knew he could do it, you're just like, oh damn, like is he really? You know, and you kind of you see him get through that, and it reminded me a lot of Tony Stark, this kind of hubris that comes with it, because yeah, he's like if Tony Stark was a surgeon instead of a great scientist, you know, an engineer. So we get to the point pretty much of this is the True Light origin story hero arc. So now we get to the part where he falls, and boy, fuck, did he fall! Holy shit, that car crash! Oh my god, I wasn't expecting all of that. I thought he like veer off and maybe hit a tree or down his way, but no, it was like, like oh shit. Damn. And then the slow motion where you got to actually see like the damage that happened in his hands, and like I'm an artist, so, and I already have issues with my hands. I have like pinched nerves in my elbows that really agitates, you know, my hands up here. And so I get the importance of what you need your hands for your job, especially when it's something like being a surgeon, a doctor, an artist, musically or visually. Like I get the importance of having these. Like these are your money makers. These are your livelihood. If something happens to them, you could very well lose your job or just lose whatever, you know, you wanted to do in life. So I get it completely. I get it like on a real level. And yeah, when I saw his hands kind of impact through the steering wheel, oh, I had to, like, I was rubbing my own hands. That was too much. But from there, we see him kind of go through this rehab, and that was very interesting to see kind of him just being desperate. And when he went off at, you know, what's her name? I'm sorry, I'm blanking on names. I forgot. Um, But you know, when he went off on her, and you could see that he could barely write his name, you knew he was desperate, and I think they did a good job of that, showing his desperation. And throughout the movie, it's pretty much his story of coming up and kind of realizing that he is not as big as he thinks he is. But he, like, as he may be a blip on the radar that is existence, like we all are, you can still make a difference with the short amount of time that you have with your life. You can do something greater, or be a part of something greater than yourself, to help out others, whether they know it or not. Because that's another thing. You know, you can help people without the notoriety. Like, I don't, you know, it's like those people who do something with like a homeless person or something, and then they go take a picture of them, you know, with them, and then put it all on Facebook. Like, no, like, you don't need to do that. You honestly don't. Like, I gave a homeless guy a sandwich like about a couple of weeks ago, because I was going off to get McDonald's, and I didn't want the sandwich I had, but I was like, I don't want to waste this food. Let me go give it to somebody who matters. So I was like, hey man, you want this sandwich? I don't want it. Here, take these chips, and I have this water too. I went about my day, and that was like about 2 weeks ago. And I know I probably, like, I know I told it to you now, but like, I didn't put it out there, you know, as soon as it happened. I didn't tell the man, wait, let me take a picture of this, you know, come take a selfie with me. No, it's just, you do things that you can to help people out. You do things that you can to try and help make their experience and your experience just a little bit better. And you don't really need to shout it from the mountaintops when you do, because it's not about you. It's about the greater picture. It's about the greater good, you know, and what you can do with your experience on this earth to kind of help that out, you know, with the, you know, with the time that you're given. And yeah, like, I like that message, you know, kind of just, it's not about you. Like, it's not just about preserving yourself. Like, it's not just all about this. It's all about us. We are all here in this together. You know, we all have to deal with it. And you need to pull your head out of your ass, because there is a threat that is about to kill all of us. And once you realize that it's not about you, and you need to stop trying to save your own ass, then you'll actually be able to become great like you want to. You know, and it's just like, excuse me. And I thought that was interesting. Now, I know this isn't how you pronounce his name, but Mads Mikkelsen as the villain was alright. Of course, the problem with Marvel movies is that their villains are very unnoteworthy. I think the only one that's going to be noteworthy is Thanos, and that's only because they keep building him up. They finally said his fucking name in Guardians of the Galaxy, and then in this one he goes by a different name, because as soon as I saw them lines, I was like, oh shit, it's Thanos. And sure enough, he's in this. It's pretty much the main bad guy, or the second bad guy. He's in this, and I thought it was interesting how they did the ending without just having a humongous climactic fight like they're normally known for. You know, they did have the big thing in the sky, which I'm starting to think is just a superhero trope now. You know, with all the movies, DC and Marvel, a big thing in the sky. But I thought it was interesting the way that he solved the problem. I heard a couple people with me complaining about it, and I think that's because we've grown complacent to there being a giant fight at the end of superhero movies. But I thought that this was very interesting because it kind of closed his arc. This was the symbol of him realizing that it's bigger than you. Yeah, like he said, I'll be stuck in this loop, and we'll go through this forever and ever and ever. I'll keep dying if it means that all these people stay safe. Like that was the lesson, and he learned it, and his character has come full circle. He will grow in power, but like maturity wise, he's there. And it kind of gives you the hope, and well, even the hope and kind of the assurance that with this knowledge he will grow more powerful, and he will no doubt be able to become the sorcerer supreme. Like, the man was willing to put himself on an endless loop of death to prevent us here on earth from dying. Like, that, fuck. You know, like, hey. So the, let's see, what else? I mean, I think that was it. Like I said, the movie was all right. Like, it was all right in the sense that it went through everything. I did like Stephen Strange's arc. The villain, as always, in Marvel movies are kind of meh, but I do like how they incorporated Thanos to kind of show that he's out there. And even at the end when they brought up Infinity Stone, I was like, oh shit, are we finally gonna talk about that? You know, and what else? I like how they also, I guess I like how we are now starting to integrate all these stories. You know, they brought up the Avengers in this movie, and you could even see Avengers Tower in that movie. You know, we're starting to finally integrate these worlds together, you know, and acknowledge the fact that there's a giant green rage monster who fought aliens, and that there was a man who was about 90 something years old who was frozen in a block of ice and now carries a shield bashing bad guys in the head, you know. And pretty soon we're going to know that there is well, he's a small tree now, but a giant tree man up in space protecting us. You know, it's going to be interesting, and I kind of like how they're doing that. Subtle things. It's subtlety. And that's kind of what was missing from Batman v Superman, was this subtlety, you know, about, it's really honestly the little things that people point out. Like in Iron Man 2, when on the TV screen in the cafe, you know, in the donut shop, that we saw the news about Wakanda, and everybody flipped the fuck out because they were like, oh my god, Wakanda, oh shit. And now we finally have the Black Panther in it. It's little things like that that let us know that they're trying to build the universe. You know, they're trying to expand it. We're going to get more people in the future. It's little shit like that, and I appreciate that. Now, let's talk about I'm gonna talk about these two, and then I'm gonna go into the other thing that I think really helped this movie. Like, it really helped the experience, and kind of makes me want to go see it again. But let's talk about the end credit scene. So the first one, which is, to me, is the important one, is the scene where Doctor Strange is talking to Thor, and he mentions, like, so you brought Loki to New York. Like, he's making a database of all these people in the universe who could be potential threats. And he's like, okay, you brought your brother to Earth. Why the fuck did you do that? And Thor is just kind of there like, well, you know, we had some family drama. Like, he literally said family drama. Like, you know, we had family drama, but, you know, we're just mainly trying to find my dad. He sounded like fucking Sam and Dean. Dad had been gone on a hunting trip for a few days, you know, like, and he's just like, we're trying to find my dad, we can't find him. And it's, you know, Doctor Strange is like, all right then, let's go, like, let's find him. You know. And so I wonder if he won't be cameoing in Ragnarok, or if this is going to be something else leading up to Infinity War. I'm not really sure. You know, it'll be interesting. And of course, the other end credit scene where Chiwetel Ejiofor's character kind of starts stealing power from all the fucking sorcerers out there, because, you know, at the end of the movie, his character kind of loses faith in the system. Pretty much, he loses faith in the system and decides to do his own brand of vigilante sorcerer justice by taking the power away from other sorcerers. So, yeah, like, I think it's gonna be interesting, especially with that first end credit scene. I mean, it's not a lot because, well, we're still getting introduced to the Doctor Strange character in the universe, pretty much, and Thor's definition of magic and kind of Doctor Strange's definition and actual practice of magic is very different, because with Thor, magic and science are pretty much the same, just different terms. For what we call it to compare to what they call it. Like it's gonna be interesting because they're kind of clashing there with ideas. And oh damn, let me wrap this up. But yeah, like it. The main thing which I think helped this movie a lot was the special effects. Holy fuck! It was like looking into a kaleidoscope. Like it was crazy what they did. Like the special effects team is probably going to be nominated for an Oscar, like, cuz it was like back in the early 2000s when you were a kid or maybe a teenager or something and the Matrix first came out. Like when the first Matrix came out in theaters, and we sat there in awe of the special effects. Motherfuckers running up on the ceilings and stuff, and bullet time slowing down. This is kind of what that was. Just holy fuck everywhere. Just looping and turning and twisting and just fractures of stuff. It was amazing what they were able to do. Like, the special effects team deserves all the praise for this movie. Like, they must have worked so damn hard to get this stuff to work. And it truly was amazing. I think that's what bumped up the entertainment for this movie. Because, like I said, all in all, it was okay. I think it's mostly because it's something that we're not used to with Marvel. This was a straight up drama. Like, it's not like a comedy, like Ant-Man or Guardians of the Galaxy, or a political thriller like Captain America, or anything like that. This was a drama. I would call it an action drama, with a bit of comedy thrown in here and there, because this truly was the story of a man trying to find himself and his purpose once his original purpose was gone. And overall, I think that the movie is pretty fun. I'm actually going to try. I saw it in 2D. I actually want to see it in 3D, because I bet in 3D the experience is so much better visually. Like, I bet it's nuts. But yeah, like, I think that if you do see it, go see it in 3D. I would call it a good time. It's all right. I would give it a probably 7 out of 10. Something, actually more like an 8 out of 10. A diamond in the rough, I think, is what an 8 out of 10 for me is. I know I should probably know my review system a bit better than that, but I'm tired, people. But yeah, like, I think that's it. Let me see. Yeah, an 8 is a diamond in the rough. Sorry, I had to double check. Because because it's like there is something missing in there. There's something that it's something I can't quite put my finger on, but something missing in there, I guess, to make it the Marvel movie that we know. But maybe that's what they were going for, and I'm just being a bit salty about it. Like, I like the ending. I like the way that they approached it and how it kind of converged with the lesson he was supposed to learn. And the visual effects, like I said before, are amazing. Like, they're crazy. So that's all I have to say about Doctor Strange. Have you guys seen it? You probably have. It's been out for about a week. What did you think about it? Are you looking forward to the next Marvel movie coming up? Are you interested to see how that whole end credit scene works out later down the line? Let me know. And I'm going to go to bed. So this is AnimeSelect signing out, and I will see you guys later. Bye.